Breath of the Wild 2 is in March, and Splatoon 3 will come out in June or July.
You're a kid, you're a squid.
You just hear it in the distance, over the hills. Everyone's locking their doors, everyone's like, the beasts are coming, and it's just the inkling. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the HGO podcast. I'm your host, Ethan, and as always, I am joined with the boys, Hunter and Kyle. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello. Oh, I'm doing just swell.
Yeah, I'm loud today. I'm feeling it. It's like, most of the time, we're recording this at like 1 a.m, and I've got to be quiet because there's other people sleeping around me, and I don't want to get a noise complaint. But you know, fuck it. It's 1 a.m, but no one's here, so we're just going to be loud anyway. And no one's going to noise complain me because they can't hear me, I hope. Let's find out. But no, welcome back to the HGO podcast.
Also hopped up on like 2 cans of soda.
I am buzzing because Kyle said it
through his bloodstream.
I have a normal sleep schedule now. Kyle said, hey, I'm going to be late today, guys. I've got a tournament. I'm like, cool. So I was like, I'm just going to get high on like fucking soda for like an hour beforehand. So that by the time, So I was like, by the time that it gets to like 2, 3 a.m, I'll have calmed down from the soda, but I'll still be up because of the caffeine. But Kyle's done in 15 minutes, and here I am buzzing off my fucking tits. Here we go, guys. Get ready.
So in my defense, I said I'd probably go out in the first round.
You did.
And I did.
You would, yeah, it was true. Because he was in you were in a BB tag tournament that you hadn't prepared for because you'd forgotten you were doing it. So,
I mean, I'd been playing throughout the week, but yeah. It wasn't until like midday today I'm like, oh shit, I have a thing to do tonight at recording time. I should tell the boys.
Yeah, that
was
a thing.
You guys ever just forget you have other commitments?
Oh, all the time.
Sometimes,
like, literally all the time. I have, like, literally my week revolves around 2 things, mainly. It's this podcast, and then, for those of you who don't know, I also have a radio show that I do every week. And each week, I swear I forget. They're each, like, half, like, there's, like, they're both equally spaced so that I have enough time to prepare for both, yet I forget about both each week. It's great. I'm like, fuck. It's caught on with me again. But here we go. Welcome back to HGO Podcast, where every week we come together to sometimes talk about what's happened in the world of gaming. Sometimes, like last week, we chat about a load of shit because nothing happens. But this week, we have some great things to talk about, such as Horizon Forbidden West finally getting some gameplay. We talk about that Sonic thing that maybe kind of happened. I don't remember because it was shit. We'll also talk about some other things that happened, what we've been playing, and all that kind of stuff. Because that's what we usually do on this podcast when there's things to talk about. So look forward to it. As always, timestamps are below if you want to skip to a particular topic. Bit of housekeeping. We don't really usually do this, but we're getting close to E3, which is the time of the year where we actually have stuff to post about, which means that we're going to have some stuff. So this time next week, be here at the usual time because we'll have our E3 prediction spectacular. What will that hold? Who fucking knows? Because half the publishers still haven't announced anything.
We don't even know what's going to be there besides a few people.
Yeah.
Or we don't know the specifics of how they're going to be involved. We know several people are there.
My assumptions are that we will be doing predictions for at least Nintendo, Xbox, Square Enix, maybe Ubisoft, maybe Sega and Atlas and all that. We don't know who's there yet, but those are the main ones that I think we're talking about. Obviously, Sony's not there. They're at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Mess, but not anywhere else, so we'll see. Oh, we do have to do a Summer Game Fest predictions as well. We'll chuck it all in one. Next week's episode is going to be chaotic. Yeah, well, we can predict how much time Jeff Keighley will waste out of the 2-hour time slot. And the chances
2 hours.
How dare you?
If it's anything like how he attacks the Game Awards.
Oh yeah, but at least the Game Awards are funny because you can just laugh.
There's an element of fun to the Game Awards most of the time.
Yeah, because no one's expecting shit. Long. Everyone goes in expecting their Smash reveal, and that's fucking it. So anything else that we get, we're just sitting there and laughing. Like when Joseph Fares shows up, says "fuck the Oscars," and everyone goes, "He did the thing," and then we move on with our lives. It's great fun.
Or when the big like medieval RPG showed the man in full armor doing a drop kick or whatever happened
cool.
then. Crimson Desert.
That was
really
cool.
Was the game.
I just remember because that was the part of the Game Awards that I walked out on. And you guys were like, I was like, what did I miss? You guys were like, the only good thing that's going to come out of this show. And it's still, and it probably was. Still haven't checked it. But no, we'll definitely be having.
In your defense, it started with like a solid minute of just panning landscapes.
Yeah, and that's what I
It took
left
that
on.
trailer a minute to get going.
Nobody
I saw
expected
that.
a full suit of armor man to just suplex somebody.
Yeah, well, I saw the panoramic shots and I was like, well, this is just going to be garbage, and walked away. I was like, I'll be back in 5. Then I came back and everyone was like, it was cool, actually. I'm like, damn it. I digress. E3 predictions next week. It'll probably be huge, which probably means that I'll also split it up into publisher by publisher on the HGO Highlights channel. So if you haven't already, go sub over there. I'll probably do that for you, just because it's probably better for analytics and stuff like that. So we'll probably do that as well next week. We're getting close to Ratchet. Ratchet will be the week after during E3, so you will have a regular episode of HGO, as well as all the E3 shenanigans. And we'll be doing watch-alongs, reactions, all of that kind of stuff to whatever we can based on when time zones happen and stuff like that. Because I already know that Summer Game Fest is at a stupid time where I think only I might be available. We'll see what I do.
I'm not
going
to be here for that.
Yeah, only
it's like
I'll be
2
sitting
p.m.
there. Yeah,
Less.
Stupid.
maybe I might just have to do it by myself. We'll see. But we'll have a load of stuff for E3. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channels to get up to date with everything on E3. Other than that, expect a couple more reviews coming out. Hopefully, we might get the Strikers spoiler cast out beforehand. I know you're waiting for it. It's actually the year anniversary. As this episode goes out, it has been a year since the P5 spoiler cast. So, round of applause. It's been a year since our most listened to podcast episode. We haven't peaked since then, apparently. But
I think that was the first episode I hosted.
Yeah, it was. Well done.
Because it was that, and then it was also our first episode with a guest.
It was the first one with Jacob, who I keep saying on this podcast, we need to sort it out. We need to bring Jacob back, because we've been saying for months that we will. We need to do that at some point. But no, other than that, thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting all the podcasts so far. It's been a weird year, but we're getting there. We're nearly halfway through. Crazy. But
Resident Evil review is out now.
Resident Evil review is out. Go watch it. Links are in it's probably recommended on the side of the fucking video, so go and check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, other than that,
Or the
I
little
don't think
card
I've got...
at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Can
Other
we
than
do
that,
cards?
it's so much effort.
Does YouTube allow us to do that?
Yeah, we can do it, but I'll forget. That's the thing, is I'm a one, when it comes to HGO,
Yo, you
most
know
of
that
the
piece
time...
of paper in front of you? Write it down.
No, because I'll forget still. Sometimes I forget to put the end card on the videos.
We're gonna get we're gonna look in the description of this week's episode, and we're just gonna see Resident Evil review in the middle of the timestamps.
Probably not, but yeah, there's a load of stuff happening in the next couple of weeks. So stay up to date on the socials at Hot Games Only on Twitter if you want to keep up with what we're doing, because we still have no fucking clue. But we just thought we'd let you know. Yes, we're covering E3. Yes, we're covering whatever the fuck Jeff Keighley is going to waste our time with. Yes, we're covering Ratchet and Clank and all the other games that are happening in June. So make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's get to 100 subs. Maybe by the end of June. Can we get to it by the end of June? If we do, I'll do, I don't know, put a bet on, one of Jack's stupid bets. I'll do something.
Hey, that month-long bet of his is almost over.
It is, and I am 100%.
Actually, it will be over by the time this video goes up.
And I am 100% getting 10 gifted subs because he still has not finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's a big fucking. I'm like the tax collector.
Where did he even leave off? Do you know?
Yeah, chapter 9. He's still in fucking Market, whatever it's called.
Oh my
Did you
God.
ever finish it, or did Hojo's lab break you?
Hojo's lab just killed it for me. I already wasn't having the greatest time with that game.
That's fair.
And I'm
Hojo's
like, this
was
lab
my
isn't
least
doing
favorite.
anything to help anything.
Yeah, it's not great. It's probably the
Not
weakest
even
part
Max
of the game.
Middleman can save this game.
It's an interesting section. But anyway, I digress. I think we've rambled long enough. We've had a chaotic intro. But hey, the energy's here because we have shit to talk about. You see what happens when we have stuff to talk about? The energy's here. We're ready. What do you want to start
it's
with?
different from last week's episode where we rambled about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. We've got stuff to talk about. What do you want to start with? I say we start with Horizon. Give the people
I was
what
going to say
they want.
Sonic because Sonic would
Oh, you wanna
take
start
like
with
2
Sonic?
minutes to talk about.
Sure, let's
Since
talk
there's
about...
nothing to talk about from
What was it called? It was called
Sonic Central.
Sonic Central, that was it. What an awful name for an event, by the way. Let's talk about Sonic Central. I watched it. Kyle, did you watch it live?
I did watch it.
Hunter, you didn't bother because I think we told you not to.
No, and I don't care about Sonic either.
Neither
so,
do I. I've played
know.
one Sonic game
Yeah,
in my
me
life.
either. I
Two
just
if
didn't
you
have
count-
anything else to do.
If you count
It's
Sonic
one of those
All-Stars Racing,
series where I'm like,
two.
I think I'll play a few of them someday just because I feel like I should, but also I'm not intent on going super deep into it.
Yeah, I'm like, I can 100% say that I've played Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform. The only actual Sonic game I've ever played is Sonic Heroes for the PS2, and that's it.
I've played Sonic 2, Sonic Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog. So clearly, if anyone's qualified to talk about Sonic, it's us.
That's a cultured group of games right there, dude. Like, you know, like that's like that is literally just like you picked the most cultured Sonic game, Shadow the Hedgehog, right there.
Should also say, I never owned Sonic Heroes. It was my friend's copy that he let me borrow for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I own Sonic
I don't
Heroes.
think I beat it.
It was great. It's so bad. It's so good bad. It's one of those games where it's really bad, but as a kid you were like, this is so bad that it's kind of fun. It was one of those weird ones. But I digress. So the announcements at Sonic Central were mainly Sonic Colors is getting a re-release, which, for those of you who didn't know, it was a Nintendo exclusive Sonic game. It was one of the two. It was Colors and Boom that were the two exclusives, weren't they? I believe.
No.
Yeah, Boom was...
Well, Boom was, but there were also other Wii exclusive Sonic games.
Yeah, like the
No,
two.
but no, I mean...
the Black Knight and...
Yeah, but those
Secret
was,
Rings.
yeah, I don't count that. What I was trying to say was there was a point when Nintendo had signed an exclusivity deal with Sega where the next mainline Sonic games were exclusive, not the shitty Black Knight spin-off ones, because they were still releasing stuff for the PS3, weren't they? Because the generations and stuff like that. Anyway, I digress. Colors and Boom were at the point where Sonic was kind of exclusive to Nintendo for a little bit. Colors is now getting a port. Trust me, I don't think Boom will get a port. I think Boom will die on that console. But I've heard good things about Colors. I'm just like, yeah, cool. That's fun. Glad that everyone else
Back
gets
in like
to play
2012, when people were talking about the Sonic series as a whole, I think Colors was like mentioned as one of the last good ones.
Yeah, it was Colors and
Yeah.
Generations, right? They had like two back-to-back that were really good.
Mm-hmm. And then people got fooled into thinking Sonic was going to be good.
Yeah, I've never...
And then Boom came out.
Well, it was good. From an outsider's perspective, it was good. And like I say, Force's Game of the Year of that year. God, what a masterpiece.
There's also Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania did good.
Yeah, but it was like...
Which is more recent and 2D.
Mania's cheating. Mania is cheating. Let's be real. It's like a ROM hack of a Sonic game that was just made by fans. I'm like, yeah, it's great, but it was 100% cheating. It was like, that couldn't be shit if they tried. Like, anyway. So that was announced. There was the TV show where a guy came out and was like, we're making a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. There was the merch, which is the worst shit I've ever seen. They I don't know if you saw this, Hunter. It was all over Twitter because people were memeing about it, about
Those
the
weird,
Sonic,
like,
the Sonic drip. Yeah, because they teamed up with like a rap
drip.
they teamed up with like a rap kind of like accessories kind of brand kind of deal thing where they had like Sonic chains, like necklaces of like the faces of all the Sonic characters. It was Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. And my favorite picture was someone put like the Goku drip fucking meme of him like that, but just with the Sonic the Hedgehog chain over the top of it, and I was just fucking dying. I was like, that's hilarious. Oh, I love it. So that was a thing. And then they announced the new Sonic game, which has no title, and they showed genuinely just Sonic running in a forest, and that was it.
The classic.
And that was basically Sonic Central, and
Is
it was
it
really
slated
shit.
for 2022?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was 2022. Also, people data
What do you
mine the
think
website.
the over-under on it being, like, passable is?
Oh, well, wait till you hear this. Someone hacked the website. Well, they data mined the website, should I say. They didn't hack into it. They just did a bit of searching. And then they found that in one of the territories, that all the stuff was titled under Sonic Rangers, which is apparently the name of it. And then someone then found a reset era thread from January of someone saying, hey, I've played the latest Sonic game in a gameplay test. It's called Sonic Rangers, and here's what it's about. And he just lists about how it's like open world, how it's garbage, and it played like ass. And everyone was like... And everyone just like shrugged it off, and then everyone was
Hell
like, "Oh, that 100% is the leak is 100% right because it is Sonic Rangers, and it probably is
Sonic
ass."
06-2, baby.
Yeah. I think Jeff Grubb was like the most. I believe this leak because there's like no one that was a Sonic fan would say that it was shit. Like because like that's what Sonic fans are like. They always love their games even though they're garbage. There's no good 3D Sonic. So that was Sonic Central, I guess. It was so shit, honestly.
It was so irrelevant.
It was so irrelevant.
Like, Sega could have just taken the Pokemon approach and just went to Twitter and announced this shit.
Yeah. That also happened. Awful box
Pokemon
art.
God.
Fucking awful box
Pokemon
art.
God
It
dates.
looks like people took pictures of toys and put like a shimmering effect behind them.
They gave
that's what
J.J.
they made the
Abrams
box
some
art.
fucking toys and he was like lens flare and then the box art appeared. Like the thing that the Pokemon box art reminded me of was, you know, back in the day when people used to make up fake Pokemon game leaks and then they'd be like, oh, Diamond and Pearl are getting a remake for the 3DS, and then someone would make the worst box art you've ever fucking seen from like terrible JPEGs and would stick shitty special effects on it, and everyone would laugh and go, "Ha, you're funny. That's a good meme." That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like someone fan made the box art, and they were like, "We'll take
Kind
it."
of does.
But we're not going to dwell on Pokemon because there was literally no news other than. I've said it before. You know, I will bring this up really quick on the podcast because I mentioned it on Twitter, and I want to get Hunter's opinion on this because I don't know if you saw my tweet. Obviously, Diamond and Pearl slated for November, which I think is a shock to quite literally nobody because
Aye. That's just the Pokemon release cycle.
you
That's
don't
just when they
need
like
an
them.
insider. Yeah, you don't need an insider to know when the mainline Pokemon games are going to release because it's always November. It's always the same week of
Pokemon
November
you
as well.
shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's always the second week of November most of the time, unless there's another game coming out in the second week of November, then they push it to the third. But anyway, then they announced obviously the new Pokemon Arceus. What's it called?
Legends
Pokemon Legends
Arceus.
Arceus. Yeah, Arceus. Is January, which a lot of people are concerned about because they think that game's being rushed. And I'm like, mate, every Pokemon game's rushed, so don't worry. You have no fear of that because it's 100% happening. I also should say, I'm going to play caveat here. We saw that in January, and knowing Pokemon games, they roughly have a 2 or 3 year development cycle. So we saw that game 2/3 of the way through development. So they still do have like a third of development left. So when we last saw it. So I'll play fucking devil's advocate and be like, yeah, there's a chance that they could fix it. Are they going to? No, they're not going to fucking fix it.
How long ago was Sword and Shield at this point?
2018? 2019. 2019,
Okay,
right?
so
Because
it's
the
been,
expansion
like-
pass was last year. Yeah, but they
Alright,
started on
yeah.
Legends Arceus before Sword and Shield had finished development.
All right.
So
And they outsourced these remakes and Snap, so it's not like they were busy with that.
yeah, so this is the next Pokemon game. But the thing that I wanted to talk about with you, Hunter, is this has solidified to me that Breath of the Wild 2 is March next year. Because
Interesting.
November, to me, would be the big slot that you'd stick a Zelda. If Zelda was coming out this year, you'd stick it in November. I don't see it coming out earlier. I feel like some people think it's coming out in September, and I laugh at you if you think that's going to fucking happen.
I mean, if it was ready, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, but is it?
But
Is it, though?
that's- yeah.
Is it? Is it? Is it though? Hunter, look at
You
me.
see,
Look at me.
it's a
Look at me
bummer
in the
if
eyes.
it-
Look at me in the eyes with a straight face and tell me that Breath of the Wild 2 is done. Look at me
I don't know.
and tell me it's
Man.
not. It's not done. It took them 26 fucking years to make the first one. It's not done.
It's true.
The first
them
one was
si-
supposed to be Wii U exclusive. Never forget that.
My favorite part about the fact that it still came out on the Wii U is that a Wii U game won Game of the Year in 2017.
Shit, I've never thought about it like that.
But no.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to be proven wrong, but I do not see.
Dude,
Breath
I
of the Wild
wish
coming out in
Horizon had
September.
come with a date, because I would have been like, all right, Breath of the Wild's coming out the other end of that week.
You know why? You know why Gorilla? Right? Someone said this on Twitter. I think it was Jeff Grubb. I think Jeff Grubb again said this on Twitter, and I was like, he's 100% right. The reason Gorilla haven't set a release date is because they're waiting for fucking Nintendo to announce a release date for to see if they're going to announce a release date at E3, because they do not want what happened last time of them coming out in the same week again. They don't want that to happen. They're probably sitting there going, this game's done for September. Let's just wait and hope that Breath of the Wild is not coming out in September, because we're not having the comparisons again. Like, I 100% believe that's what they're like. But anyway, to me, it's not coming out in September. And if it does, I'll be happily proven wrong, and you can all laugh at me when that happens. But
Oh god, if it did come out in September and Horizon came out at the same time, like this imagined scenario would be happening.
and the Switch Pro, that'd literally be fucking
Yeah.
chaos. If the Switch Pro, Breath of the Wild 2, and
bananas. Isn't
God.
Deathloop supposed to come out in September too?
yeah,
That'd be suddenly very packed.
genuinely.
I just want to fast forward to E3 week right now, so I can laugh at Ethan.
Yeah, what? Just because it happens to be in September. My prediction right now is,
Well, even if they
Horizon-
announce it for September, it doesn't mean necessarily that it'll make the date.
literally, you can put this in a highlights montage next year. I don't care, right? You can watch me. The rumor is that the Switch Pro's coming out in September-ish, right? You can hold me down to this. If Switch Pro is September, Pokemon November, the other Pokemon January, Breath of the Wild 2 in March. That is the order. That is happening. Breath of the Wild 2 is in March, and Splatoon 3 will come out in June or July when Splatoon shows up. I don't remember what Splatoon 2's release date is, but it always shows up at the same time. It's like the fucking flu. It comes every year. You know, it's the Splatoon season, dude. Let's release a new Splatoon thing.
You're a kid, you're a squid.
You're a kid. You can just hear it in the distance over the hills. You just hear the fucking "you're a kid now, you're a squid." As they pull up in their fucking Inkling mobile, dude, down with the skateboards off the fucking car. It's like a fucking apocalypse. Like the fucking everyone just runs away. Dude. Like everyone's just
That's
straight
what they're
into
going
home.
for with Splatoon 3 too.
Yeah, honestly, it's like I'm just imagining Bloodborne kind of scenario. Just everyone's locking their doors. Everyone's like, the beasts are coming, and it's just the fucking Inkling.
Oh, this is incredible.
Oh, fuck me. That was sorry. That was like, I don't know where that came from, to be honest.
Neither do I, but I think we found our intro.
I honestly have no clue.
Oh, would that we had an animator to make that.
One day, I hope. Honestly, like, I'm gonna make sure that will definitely be the intro, and we will remember that if we ever do get a big enough audience. We'll have that one animated. We'll have that from the back catalog. Anyway,
Oh man.
you can hold me to that. That's what I 100% believe that Zelda will be March from this. I feel like it solidified it. I'll be wrong, and I'll take it. But I just don't see Breath of the Wild being September. We haven't heard it. We haven't heard from this game since 2 years ago, isn't it? Like, it's been like 2019.
Yeah. When
Unless you want to
announced it.
count the last direct where they said
Oh, yeah.
we don't have anything to show.
Yeah, Al Numa showing up in his drip going, "We have nothing. Here's more Skyward Sword."
His
Fucking,
drip.
literally, he was literally in the exact same pose. He was just standing there on a black, like, literally just fucking, "We have nothing." See you at E3 maybe, because the Nintendo, as of recording, still hasn't announced anything. But no, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree?
I feel like March is probably the more likely scenario. I would like to hope for September just because I'm a hopeful fellow.
I mean, wouldn't we all? I think everyone, like, I don't know, like, most game droughts feel bad, right? At least for me, as someone that plays a lot of modern games, like, when they come out. Game droughts do feel bad. But I think this is the first time since, because we have a podcast, it's become a lot more important to me, not just because I want to play video games, but it's very hard to do a podcast when nothing's coming out. Like, when you look out your window, like, what's this podcast topic for this week? And you look out and you just see a tumbleweed just fucking fly past. You're like, well, I guess we're talking about some random shit again.
The best first-person shooters.
Army Man RTS.
It's my favorite first-person shooter personally. Yeah. So those release dates happened. Far Cry 6 thing happened, which I'm not going to talk about because I hate Far Cry personally. I think it's the most dull video game series on the planet.
I only really ever appreciated 3.
Once you play 3, you've literally played 4, 5, and from the looks of it, 6, because they genuinely just click copy and paste every fucking time and do the same gameplay.
It's the most Ubisoft of all of Ubisoft's games.
Genuinely. It also makes me laugh because it's the most political of Ubisoft's games, and they always
they refuse to commit to it.
It's not politics, guys. It's like this new one. It's about overthrowing a dictatorship, and they're like, guys, it's not political though. We're overthrowing a dictatorship, but it's not political. We're just doing it.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's like last time when they had a religious cult in America, and they were like, guys, not political or religious. We swear, it's just a theme. We swear, guys. But no, we're not talking about Far Cry because fuck me. The funniest thing about Far Cry was they set a YouTube premiere. Did you hear about this, Hunter?
That's like 5 hours. There was like 5 hours of just stuff.
No, that was Horizon. But Kyle, you'll love this, Kyle. They did a YouTube premiere where they set it for 9:30 and told everyone be there at 9:30. The YouTube premiere countdown starts. You know the 2-minute countdown.
Yeah.
Fades to black. Fades
Stream
in
starting
a
soon.
screen with 30 minutes in the corner counting down.
Why wouldn't you just tell people to come at 10?
They didn't. They told everyone to come at 9:30 because I don't think they
That's
realised
so
how
stupid.
premieres worked. So it was just funny.
Man.
Anyway, main topic that we're here for. Finally, guys, Sony decided to feed us. Finally, Horizon. We have seen gameplay of the Forbidden West. That was the thing that had a 5-hour countdown, but PlayStation did specify a couple of days beforehand saying it's at 2 p.m, but we're starting the stream at 9 and we're having a 5-hour countdown. That's what they did say, which was a very nice countdown. They did some like panoramics for 5 hours. I don't know who the fuck sat through it. I personally was like, oh, that's cool. See you in 5 hours. But let's talk about it. Obviously, Kyle doesn't have a horse in this race, really.
Excuse you.
Well, he has it selected as his draft
Excuse
game.
you, Ethan.
Oh, I mean,
So
yes, I
despite
guess you
maybe
do.
not caring
I have a
about
great
the
big
game,
mechanical horse in this race.
From the score, you care about the score, but not the
I
actual,
do care about the score.
the game itself.
I hope it scores a 195.
I don't think it'll do that.
Very
I
optimistic.
disagree, Hunter. People
but
like
yeah.
Horizon.
People do
Yeah.
like Horizon. I don't think they like it to the point to break the scale, though.
Sure. If
But
ever there was a time.
So we saw Horizon Forbidden West. We saw about 15 minutes of gameplay. As Hunter mentioned, no release date. We've kind of talked about it. We'll talk about it again in a bit about the release date, but I 100% think they are waiting for Nintendo to kind of announce something about Zelda. And I don't even think it's a joke. I genuinely think they're like, we don't want to be in the same month as Zelda again. We learnt from last time. What did you think? I'm going to throw it to you, Hunter, because as everyone knows, if you've listened to this podcast before, Hunter, I would consider, out of all of us, Hunter is number one Horizon fan. Like, I liked Horizon quite a bit when I played it. It wasn't my game of the year. Breath of the Wild was my game of the year by a landslide.
Breath of the Wild was also my game of the year for the record.
And now that
but...
and now that I've played other games from 2017, I will 100%
now that
say
I've played Persona as well,
Persona
that would have
5 is
knocked it
also
down
high,
a peg.
yeah.
Probably Nier as well would have knocked it down another peg.
But as far as I'm concerned, out of all of us, you are number one Persona fan. Persona fan, no, fuck off. Number one Horizon fan. Number one Horizon fan. What did you make of this? I'll let you talk about it. What did you make of it?
It certainly looked cool. I like the machine designs for these new things a lot, like the raptors, for example.
The chainsaw raptor. I want to know who came up with that because I'm like, that guy deserves a raise because that is fucking.
That looks so
great
much
design.
cooler than just the Watcher from the Watcher was fine in the first game, but this, if it's like the standard like raptor thing that you're gonna see a bunch, that's a really
I think
cool
they mentioned
improvement.
I think they mentioned that the Watchers are in the game still. I think they mentioned that. But Because I think the guys that were swimming over the top of the water in that section that she kind of ducked down for. Apparently, those were Watchers, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, they said that they weren't the raptors that were in the water. It was a different robot. They specified.
Alright.
But no, I do like those. We already saw the Mammotusks or whatever they're called.
Yeah, but it was cool to get a better look at like how fighting one would be.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the design of them, and I'm like, that's the main thing that Horizon nailed was there's the designs of the robot dinosaurs. They're not just robot dinosaurs. Like, they actually do put a lot of thought into them, and obviously, if you've played,
all of their like destructible components and stuff, it made the combat very engaging in that way.
And if you've played the original,
how it worked.
You didn't get that far, Kyle. But if you played the original, you'll also learn that there's a reason behind the designs of all of them and why they are that way as well, from a story perspective, which I always find is really cool because,
really cool.
which just has me very interested. Okay, what is the fucking lore behind Chainsaw Velociraptor, please? I would love to find out how the fuck that fits in. Or fucking Mammoth. Like, where the fuck does Woolly Mammoth come in? I digress. Like,
I don't know, but
to be fair, I'm just hoping they go with cool. Anyway, go on. Sorry,
they mentioned that now the humans are like coexisting with these machines. They're like thralls or something, which I hope you can break I hope you can break that thrall in encounters with that and just let the machines go wild on them, because I like being able to instigate two parties to attack each other in games.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it should be nice because it's humans are always the least interesting thing to fight in games like this. Like, the machines are significantly cooler. Mm-hmm. Like, Days Gone, humans were less interesting to fight than the horde of zombies, etc.
Yeah.
They're just never as fun. So now that they have machines with them, at least that'll be a little less...
Well, to me, it's not even that, because it's like, in the first game, the humans are extremely boring to fight. Just from that little gameplay section, it's kind of funny that one of the bits that impressed me the most about this whole gameplay demo was that little fight in the camp where Aloy takes that guy out from behind, fucking bashes the other one in the head with the spear, and then does that cool fucking electric surge attack with the spear, and then kind of does like a rebound, bounces off him, and then shoots him with the fucking arrow in the chest. I was
that was a sick
that
combo.
Shit's cool, dude. Like, because as Kyle mentioned a couple of weeks ago with Horizon, the spear, until I have been told, Ed very much had a fucking argument with me that if you get into late game, spear is viable in the first game. Yeah, whatever, dude.
No, the spear's
still
fucking
don't
trash.
I still don't believe it. But in my opinion, the spear actually looks viable in this game, where it looks like they have actually took a look at the hand-to-hand combat and have made it look a lot more appealing, a lot more visceral. Like, you feel the weight in it. It felt like actual combat. This
not
time
just
around.
a emergency get away from me move.
And the combo, like the whole having different element, I assume that's what the spear thing is. They mentioned that there are other upgrades for the spear, but my assumption is that it's kind of like an elemental thing where you'll probably have a fire one as well and some other kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a really cool little idea, as being able to pull off elemental things and combo it with the bow. I feel like that's going to be a really fun
that should be cool.
Little thing.
Like, smack someone with a fire thing and then shoot a bow past them and like light it on fire. That'd be nice. Or shoot an arrow past them and light it on fire. That'd be cool.
Two other little details that I'll mention before I pass it back to you, Hunter, of some more stuff that I want to mention is, one, I love the fact that they are going all Breath of the Wild on this and going, okay, if you're going to draw fucking comparisons, we'll add the fucking glider in. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Because one of my biggest gripes of Horizon, especially in the first one, when there are vertical sections, are, I've got to climb down. And then you have to do the fucking mantling all the way down, and it's a bit boring and it's a bit shit. Being able to just jump off things now and glide down is a much better system, and I'm grateful for it. Like I said to Kyle, I think I DM'd you while you're doing it. I'm like, if we don't get to jump off a skyscraper in San Francisco using this thing, I'm going to be very fucking upset. Even if it's not in a cutscene. I just 100% see a cutscene of them being in a fucking skyscraper and then Aloy just fucking dipping, being like, I'm out. Just want it. It's like with Breath of the Wild. My favourite thing of Breath of the Wild, when you climbed a really tall tower or a really tall cliff, was just fucking jumping off it straight away and being like, wee, off we go.
Good stuff.
So that was really cool. Two, I really like, and this is very nitpicky for me, but I really like how they have now put what's climbable to the HoloLink thing. I don't remember what it's called.
That is a good the focus.
But making everything not painted bright yellow and having it glow yellow with the fucking holo thing instead, honestly, does my OCD my OCD does my fucking head like a lot better than it does. 'Cause it's like, okay,
it is more intuitive because, you know, why would these just be painted yellow randomly in the world?
Yeah, like I say, it did my part of my head that gets fucking triggered by those kinds of things. My quote unquote OCD. It's not OCD, but you know what I mean. When people say OCD, that's what the kind of stuff that they mean, not actual OCD.
Yeah. So that seems to mean to me that you probably can't just climb up. It's probably not as free climbing as Breath of the Wild was, but I think there's more things that you can climb than the original game.
And I like that it still offers a bit of exploration. Not have, like I say, if you go into the original Horizon, it has Uncharted 2 syndrome, which is essentially everything that you can climb on is painted in a specific color. And in Horizon Zero Dawn, it's pea yellow. Everything's fucking colored pea yellow. You got through the game enough, Cal, to see the fucking rocks that stick out with the pea yellow fucking paint stroke all over them.
I don't remember.
Basically, for some reason in Horizon, there's this law where one guy went around the whole fucking world and decided to paint every rock that could be climbed on yellow for some reason. And I hated it because I was like, it took all the fun out of it because you saw a mountain and you're like, well, I know how I'm climbing it because I can fucking go there, and just see all the fucking yellow marks all over the place. So that was really cool. Also, the grappling hook is very cool. Being able to fucking...
the addition of the grappling hook is nice.
Being able to just, like, kind of just pull yourself up tall structures very quickly instead of having to fucking Assassin's Creed it where you just very slowly climb up. Very cool. Liked it a lot. Man, is this game pretty.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how this game's going to look on PS4. I genuinely don't. It's going to be one of those games where I'm just like, let's see, fingers crossed.
One of the first things I noticed was the animation with just the people is a lot more fluid.
I was going to mention it. That was my next thing. Yeah, go for it.
Then it was like a lot of the first game when you were in conversations with people, it was just kind of the typical, like, I always think of Dragon Age when it does this, where it just pans to one person, pans to the other, typical thing it's there, and just kind of stilted movements.
For those of you on podcast listeners, I'm basically doing the thing. They're always like at this kind of angle to the camera, like this kind of angle, always this angle, and they're always like kind of bit of head movement, and then kind of jaggy mouth movements, and then sometimes like they'll do a bit of a thing like that, but it's the exact same.
Yeah.
Which they had to do, I believe, because I believe a lot of the side quests, like animation, was automated because they didn't have enough time to keyframe all that stuff in. But
yeah,
it's such a glow up. That was the first thing I noticed when I saw the facial animation. I was like, oh shit, we're not doing fucking Mass Effect Andromeda fucking animations of just like kind of automating it and having it look a bit janky. The models just look better in general as well. Everyone says that Aloy looks really good. The one that got me was Erend. The guy that was being... He's in the game later. He's a character you meet, Kyle, later in the Horizon. And he looks so much better. Like, his model in the original Horizon, I thought looked fucking stupid at times. I was like, his beard looked really stupid. And his hair just didn't fit. I was like, why is his hair so weird? Now, in this game, I'm like, oh, that's what you were going for. That's what he's supposed to look like. I get it now. He doesn't look as bad. He actually looks like it looks really good now. So, yeah, very big glow up. It's just, I'm probably going to put this in the thumbnail as clickbait. So I'll ask the question, Hunter, do you think this will be Game of the Year?
Assuming that it comes out and like Zelda doesn't, it would be a very strong contender as far as the things that I'll play.
I think it's because
I really liked Horizon in the first place, and I think that this one is going to be an improvement.
I honestly, Sony's got, looking at the first parties in terms of, Sony's got a really strong year this year. I honestly think we are going to see a Game of the Year awards where 3 of the nominations are Returnal, Ratchet & Clank, and Horizon Forbidden West if they all come out. I genuinely see this happening. It's one of those things where I'm like, Microsoft obviously is going to have Halo. this fall. It's coming out. I don't know. People still think it isn't. I think it's 100% coming out. They have nothing. They need to release that fucking game. It's coming out.
Okay, Ethan.
And I hope it's good. I hope Xbox really needs a game right now. They don't even have Psychonauts, because Psychonauts is coming to other consoles because it was before the acquisition. So Psychonauts 2 is going to be on every platform. They maybe will have a Forza, but other than Halo, it's like PlayStation, at least now, are just hitting banger after banger, and it just seems it's going to continue going. Deathloop looks incredible, and it's a timed exclusive at the moment for some fucking reason. Ghostwire Tokyo, if that shows up again, like, you know, it's going to be a strong year for PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly does look like it will be.
At this point, Nintendo, I feel like, is the only people that are going to stop it, because Microsoft, I've said it before, when Microsoft studios are fully up and running, Jesus Christ, there's going to be a lot of games on Xbox to play, because they have like 25 studios, and if every studio made a game like every 3 or 4 years, that means you're guaranteed to get like 8 games a year from Xbox, which is fucking crazy. But man, like, I don't see Halo competing. It's just Breath of the Wild.
Halo isn't really the kind of game that you'd think the critics would choose for that game of the year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, unless it's like super shockingly like amazing, then
you know, you hear people like I've heard a load of people make these arguments where I've heard people say, especially people on the Xbox side of things, I've heard people say that Halo Infinite has to be a masterpiece when it comes out. People are of this impression of when Halo comes out, Halo has to be a big deal and it has to be like this massive thing. I remember, I think it was Paris from Kinda Funny that said that it's like, when Halo comes out, it needs to be a masterpiece. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. It just needs to be Halo. It doesn't matter if that game is the worst Halo game of all time. Halo fans are going to buy it and play it. People are going to fucking play Halo because it's Halo.
I meant specifically for the Game of the Year discussion.
And as I was going to get to that, and as for the Game of the Year discussion, I don't think Halo will ever get Game of the Year nom, because Halo... It's like if Call of Duty got a nom, because it doesn't matter how good the Call of Duty campaigns are. It's like, I don't think that it... I don't know. I just don't think it would fit, personally. I'd love to be proven wrong. I can't wait to see Halo Infinite be the best story ever told. And I'll be like fucking sitting here at the end of the year going, guys, my bad, guys. But no. Final thoughts, I guess, on Horizon. It's great. It looked like, honestly, I don't want to look... They said they have more to show, and it's genuinely one of those games where I'm like, just give me a date, and I'm there.
I'm already in. I just want the date, too. Also, like, I like that the environment looks drastically different from the other game. Also, when she opened the map, and it showed, like, the whole world, I'm like, oh, man. Even if they finish Aloy's story, they could use this world for other things.
Which they won't. I can 100% guarantee.
Well, I'm not saying for this game. I'm just saying, like, in the future, like, if they make Aloy's game or Aloy's story done at like 3, they could choose another, like, set one in like China or something. Who knows? That
would be interesting. I 100% do see Horizon as a trilogy. At least that's my guess. It feels like a middle. It does feel like it doesn't feel like there's nothing about Forbidden West that screams to me this is the end of Aloy's story or Aloy's journey or anything like that.
No.
It very much. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very interested as well because it's interesting that we don't really know much about this game, and and I hope Sony's keeping this kind of thing up, because it's like when Returnal came out, we didn't know too much about it. We didn't know enough. Like, sometimes games overshare
enough to be interested.
So yeah, some games overshare, right? You always have that thing where it's like, oh, I wish you hadn't shown that. Like, I wish you could have just kept it in your fucking pants. Like, I hate when games do that.
Cough like, every Pokemon game.
Yeah, or like Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 had a great selection of worlds, and some of those would have been great fucking surprises. Like like worlds like Big Hero 6 would have been a really nice surprise for fans of Big Hero. Like, Big Hero 6 to me is not a brand that's big enough to be like, here's the reveal. And then that's the perfect kind of world to be like, we keep that in because people will fucking freak out when Big Hero 6 shows up because it's a cult classic and everyone loves it, right? Yeah. But Kingdom Hearts 3 literally showed you every single fucking Disney world before the game came out. Or, what's a good example? I'm just trying to think of video games that kind of do this.
Most of Metal Gear Solid 5's plot was pieced together before the game came out.
Yeah. Oh, that's another.
So that's a good example.
Or games like Insane Trilogy and Spyro Reignited were 100% this, where they showed like every level before release, and I was like, you left no surprises for me. Like, especially in a game like that, you're like, like I remember with Spyro Reignited, I was like, imagine how Breeze Harbor will look in Reignited, or imagine how, Midnight Mountain will look. And then fucking Toys for Bob's like, no need to wonder or buy the video game. Look at it here. And I'm like, God damn it. Let me fucking find it out for myself. But no, Returnal, perfect amount. Ratchet, it's getting close. I've avoided stuff now because I feel like they're oversharing a bit too much of Ratchet. Like, apparently the whole intro is out there. Like, they've shown the intro cutscene and the premise to it. Really? And I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. Why the fuck would I want to see the first 15 minutes of the video game when I'm not playing the video game? I've never understood that. Why are there these first 15 minutes of X game gameplay? I'm like, I want to see that for myself. Why the fuck are you showing me this? And Horizon, I hope they do that as well. All we know is storms are happening. Aloy's in the west to try and figure out how to stop it. And we know that Silas, was it? The guy, Silence, that was it. Silence, not Silas. Silence, he's also involved, and I assume that he's the one responsible for getting the robots on the bandit side. Why he's doing what he's doing, we have no fucking clue, but I assume he's kind of involved.
I'll be interested to see if this game's story can keep up the intrigue without having the mystery of what happened to fall back on.
I 100% think it will, because
I'm confident that it will. It's just one of those things where...
I also feel like they didn't answer every question. I feel like it's one of those things where we know the backstory of Horizon's world. We don't know the detail, really. Like, who knows? Are all these robots from the same fucking source? We still don't know that. We don't know what's happening in the West. The West isn't really mentioned that much in the original Horizon, so it's kind of interesting. Anyway, we'll see. We'll give Horizon a break now, because I'm sure Kyle's sitting there going, oh my god, they're still talking about this fucking game. So we'll leave it there. Has that everything? Have we talked about all the news that happened this week? Is that all of it?
I don't think any of us really care about Dying Light, so
I did watch it. What have you? Quickly on Dying Light. Dying Light looks cool. I'll say that much. I'm not into it because I'm not really a big horror guy.
Dying Light is not really a horror game. I played the first one. It just has zombies. Yeah. So
yeah, but it's like
it's not really a horror game.
The nights for the it's like the nights for the monsters. Also, can I just say a little pet peeve? I hate when zombie games try and act like their zombies aren't zombies. It really fucking triggers me where they're like in Dying Light, they're calling them the monsters, and they're like, oh, they're not zombies because they're still like, they're human, they're not undead, they're still human, they're Days the Gone monsters. I'm like, they're fucking zombies.
Ben tried to push that with Days Gone a lot, and I'm like, oh, these are clearly zombies.
Yeah. The only one that I'll allow is clickers. That's the only one that I'll allow, because one, clickers is cool, but two, clickers make sense, because what do? They fucking click. And also, they don't look like humans. They don't look like undead. They're like fucking weird, like mushroom people. I'll accept those, but I will not. Yeah. I will not accept any other form. Otherwise, it's zombies, dude. No fucking monsters or whatever the fuck they call them in Dying Light. I don't remember what they call them in Dying Light.
I don't know either. I don't recall.
But no, Dying Light looks cool.
Dying Light's not a horror game. Like, you can actually dropkick zombies in that game.
Oh, nice. Fun.
A notion of how silly it is.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of the original Mirror's Edge, and I like Mirror's Edge Catalyst as well. So you'd think it'd be a game that I would go to, but I'm not really a big zombies guy. As much as I play Call of Duty, I buy Call of Duty for zombies. That's like the only zombies thing that I've ever, other than Last of Us and stuff like that, it's the only thing I've really cared about. Anyway,
it was definitely a game that I only got because my siblings got it for me, and I was like, all right, play it with you guys.
And it is 4-player co-op, I believe. Dying Light 2, I believe it is. Was the original 4-player co-op as well?
Yes.
Ah, cool. So that was a thing. It's coming out December 7th. My only response to that is see you in 2022, because that seems like the perfect fucking release date to go, ha ha ha, JK guys, we meant February, lol. See ya. December 7th to me is literally like the packing your bags of release dates, where it's like, yeah, we're definitely there. We're definitely going to be here on December 7th, and they're already getting ready to move. It's what Cyberpunk should have done last year, but they decided we ain't moving, and look what happened.
Well, Cyberpunk got pushed so many times already.
I mean, Cyberpunk's still not out, as far as I'm concerned.
That's true.
Until the next gen version's out and it's actually fixed. In my heart, Cyberpunk is still not out. Which I still find great.
But man, people are gonna keep talking about it.
I find it great, to be
Until
honest,
I'm dead.
because Cyberpunk, I really respect Cyberpunk being awful when it came out, because it was that bad that no one spoilt the game because everyone was too busy bitching about it. So it was great for me. I know nothing still about Cyberpunk because all I've heard is game bad, game bad, game bad.
Getting cock.
Yeah, literally my only knowledge of Cyberpunk is the Keanu Reeves fucking out of context memes, dude. That's it. That's it. But anyway, Kyle, did you say there was another piece of news?
Yeah. Just something small. Dragon Quest 3 is getting a remake.
Right.
I forgot about. Oh, thank you, Kyle. The weebs would have killed
HD
us.
2D style of Octopath Traveler.
Never played a Dragon Quest game, but I might get
I'm just
that
gonna
one
call it the
because
I'm in the same boat, dude.
I'm gonna call it the Dragon Quest Direct. We'll talk about the Dragon Quest thing. 'Cause I actually did see parts of the Dragon Quest thing.
There was a whole direct?
Yeah, it was like a whole
they announced
concept.
like 12 and stuff.
Dragon
too.
Quest 12, Dragon Quest 10 stuff. We'll talk all about it.
I had just seen the Dragon Quest 3 stuff floating around Twitter, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Dragon Quest
Yes,
HD.
please.
Yeah, it's called like Dragon Quest
HD
2D. Yeah, HD 2D is it? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I'm like, oh, they're doing this. To me, this screams to me after Octopath Traveler was great, right? I've heard nothing but great things. It was really good.
Loved it.
Now that Square's announced this genuinely just seems to me like the gears have like clicked in my mind. I'm like, this is how they're going to remake all of the old RPGs in Square's catalogue. I'm like,
That's what I was thinking too.
This is going to be Final Fantasies 1 through 6. This is going to be fucking Dragon Quests 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is how these games are going to get remade now. I'm like, which one has me a bit concerned. I'm like, I hope they do something else in the Octopath IP at some point. I hope they do continue to make new games with this engine and not now just go, we can make money by remaking everything in this fucking thing. Look,
I hope they do something with Octopath that's not just their mobile game.
Octopath has a mobile game?
Yeah, it does. It's like Continent of the Conquestors or something.
No clue.
Conquerors of the Continent? I don't know. It's Japan only right now.
It's
a gacha game.
All I know is Triangle Strategy 2022, boys.
Oh, Triangle Strategy.
But I really hope it's called Triangle Strategy still. I really do.
Me too.
It's gonna be.
Honestly, literally worst name of a video game I've ever seen. Like, at least
dude, it's great.
So bad. I mean, Octopath Traveler still, it's one of those names that's settled now where I'm like, yes, that is the name of a video game. But I still look at it and go, this is literally like a bad mark. This is like bad management at its finest, where they called it a project something stupid, and then they got too far in development and went, fuck, we don't have a name for this. And they were just like, guess we're keeping the project.
Jim, you got a name for the game yet?
Exactly. We could take the project off the title and leave it as it is. Oh, that's why we pay Jimmy the big. Sir. Yeah, that's why we pay Jimmy the big bucks or the big yen, I guess. Yeah,
it has the same energy as all of my English essays in high school being the title.
Hell yeah, dude. But that's what it screamed to me. Dragon Quest 3 looks great. I'm glad it's getting a worldwide release because Dragon Quest seems to be in this state where some of it isn't. So that was one thing. It looks awesome. I'm sure RPG fans are going to love it. Dragon Quest 12 was announced. Well, quote unquote announced. They did a Nintendo where they were like, they literally like, drum roll please.
This exists.
JPEG. And then they showed a JPEG and everyone went, that's a great JPEG. Can't wait to see the actual game in 6 years. Can't wait. Can't wait for this game to restart development 6 times. Can't wait. Can't wait. Literally, someone made me laugh, and it was like they took the Metroid Prime 4, and then they said times, and then they showed the Bayonetta 3 JPEG, and then they put equals, and then they put the Dragon Quest 12 JPEG. And I just fucking amazing. Died. I was like, that is fucking incredible. I love it.
But I wouldn't be shocked if, like.
But no,
they've probably been working on it for a little while because
they've released Dragon Quest 11 6 times.
Has refused to like. I don't remember when that game originally came out anymore.
But it's not going away.
I believe it was
re-released like every year. So
I believe it was made by Japanese Todd Howard. I believe, and then just keeps remaking it every fucking couple of years. I just like to think Square, the guy that made Dragon Quest 11, just saw Skyrim and was like, "We're doing that quick. Let's go, guys."
He's talking to the other programmers like 4 times the size of Dragon Quest 11.
14 times the detail. If you haven't seen the Internet Story of Fallout 76 video, I would highly recommend it. Great video.
I just watched that the other day.
I need to rewatch it. I'll probably do that tomorrow. It's a great video. But no, all we've heard is that the subtitle is called The Flames of Fate. I don't know why that stayed in my head. I've not got anything up. This is Audacity on this screen, so
That's a cool name.
Yeah, it's a cool name. They've said it's gonna.
It's a lot shorter than 11's subtitle.
Echoes of an Elusive Age.
Echoes of an Elusive Age.
Yeah, but it has this kind of formality to it. It's like when there's something that I love. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast before. I've definitely mentioned it on the radio. But there's something about really long names that I really love. It's like the stupid part of me. It's like whenever something comes out and it has a really stupid title, I'm like, if it's elegant, I'm like, hey, it's stupidly long, but it's like Echoes of an Elusive Age. Just kind of slaps.
Does sound cool.
It kind of
right.
slaps.
Like,
it's cool.
It does grow on you
in the nerdiest
like,
kind
it
of
sounds
way.
cool.
It's cool. Yeah. You know, the biggest comparison I have is the 1975 as a band have like all their albums are like at least 6 words long. Like they're never short like names. Like they've got they've got one album that is genuinely like an entire sentence, and I'm like, Jesus. But they sound cool. But no, so Flames of Fate. They said it's going to be more adult, which I don't know what that means for Dragon Quest, because as far as I'm concerned, that's game it's like a family art. It's like you can play that at any age, as far as I'm concerned. Dragon Quest, it's kind of like a all ages kind of RPG. And they also announced simultaneous release in the West, which is cool, which now means that even Dragon Quest is doing this before Persona. So well done, Atlas. You're still at the fucking bottom of the pile. Congratulations. Yeah, it's bad when the fucking boomer RPGs like fucking Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest have caught up before you, and you're like, God damn it. Like, everyone's doing this now, and Atlas is still like, I'm sorry you've got to wait a year for a spin-off. I'm sorry, you've just got to. It takes too much time to hire Max Mittleman again. But no, that was announced. Dragon Quest X's got an expansion. That's the MMORPG that's not allowed to come to the West for some reason. They showed a load of trailers. Apparently they did a hype trailer where they showed every expansion, and everyone in the West was like, it's coming, they're showing all the expansions, it's coming. And then after the trailer was over, this fucking text came up saying, yeah, it's not happening for kids, it's not happening. They also announced a Dragon Quest X offline game, which is a separate game where they're basically remaking the story in a different game in an offline version so that people can play it offline, like the story of Dragon Quest X, which I think is interesting.
Huh.
And they said maybe that'll come to the West, and I'm like, that's an interesting way of doing it.
Cool. Final Fantasy
they just know that the
like
Westerners
that.
are all full of Final Fantasy 14. They don't have time for another one.
And if they're not doing that, they're also playing like fucking Final Fantasy 11 because that's still up. Or if they're not playing that, they're playing Elder Scrolls Online. Or if they're not playing that, they're playing WoW. And if they're not playing WoW, who knows what those MMO... They're playing RuneScape, and then once you've got to RuneScape, you're at the bottom of the battle. Dude. Fucking ever. Then you've got the 3 people in the back playing Second Life still, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? It's 2021, guys, not 2003. Get off Second Life, damn it. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff announced, and Dragon Quest is... I feel like I need to pick up Dragon Quest 11 at some point, because it's on every fucking platform. Dragon Quest is a JRPG everywhere. That I haven't tried, and I feel like I might actually like Dragon Quest if I give it a try. I feel like, because everyone talks about like great things about Dragon Quest. It is beloved by so many people. It's so fucking huge in Japan. I don't think people over here understand how big Dragon Quest is. When a Dragon Quest game comes out,
release dates are holidays in Japan.
It's Japanese Christmas, dude. It's Japanese Christmas. Everyone has the day off to play Dragon Quest. Literally, it's like, it's crazy. Like, it's the biggest thing over there, and it's crazy to me. So it's like, I need to check out Dragon Quest at some point. Echoes of the Elusive Age S version, whatever the fuck it is, whatever the version is on PS4, I will check it out at some point. But a lot of stuff from Dragon Quest, to be honest. I didn't realize Dragon Quest released so much. There was also side games, stuff like that. I didn't realize that we released that much content.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to say
Dragon
something?
Quest.
No, it's not like actually substantial. Okay. It just reminded me of something else.
Okay, we'll throw it to Kyle.
Sorry.
Hey, Kyle.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
No, I was just gonna say, Dragon Quest has always been a game that I've wanted to try out, and I've been meaning to pick up 11 for like a few years now, and I've just never gotten around to it. But I'll either pick up 11 at some point now that I'm in a kind of a game lull until Guilty Gear comes out, or maybe I'll just wait until Dragon Quest 3 comes out. Because damn, Octopath style looks beautiful.
It does look good.
I do wish they gave the treatment to FF6 first, but I'll take it.
I feel like
it'd be cool if they go like resuscitate Chrono Trigger and make that game like that.
Oh, they would need so many people for so many people's permission for Chrono Trigger, though.
I feel like
namely Toriyama.
I feel like if Chrono Trigger does happen, that is the way it will happen. I believe that is how it will happen.
I can't see it happening another way now.
But like I say, I'm just hoping Square Enix doesn't pull a Square Enix and goes, everything.
Everything.
And literally, like, that's all you see is, like, every year we're like, okay, what's the 2D HD game this time? Oh, cool, it's Final Fantasy IV. Cool, can't wait. Let's see what it is next year. Oh, it's fucking Dragon Quest 2. Cool. Like, you're just like, oh, here we go. But no, it's interesting. Thank you for reminding us, because I feel like we would have been doing a disservice if we had mentioned fucking Dying Light 2 and not Dragon Quest. I feel like we would have done a disservice.
Hey,
especially
I didn't even know that there was a Dragon Quest Direct, so
a lot of our listeners are
we scratch
JRPG
each other's backs
fans,
here.
So. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But with that, like we say, it was a busy news cycle. Can you believe E3 is around the corner, guys? E3 is finally happening. Very exciting. We'll have our predictions.
I'm glad it's happening this year. I was worried our podcast killed it last year.
I honestly did as well. It was like the year we started was no E3. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of getting that buzz again. I'm also not, because they're all at stupid times. Like, the joy of E3 to me as a degenerate is E3 to me was what fucked my sleep cycle in. Like E3 is the reason that I'm like a night owl, is because when E3 season came around, I would be up until like 4 a.m. for like 5 days in a row, because I'd be watching stupid conferences that I didn't even really care about. Like, I wasn't a massive Bethesda fan, but I stayed up till 3 a.m. and watched the Bethesda conference, and I was like, yeah, it's very cool, Todd. Very cool. But it's like Summer Game Mess, fucking 2 p.m. or something ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like dinner time, my time. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Xbox's showcase is like at 7 p.m. my time. I'm like, what's this? Ludicrous.
At least that one's on a Sunday.
To be fair, thank God it is on a Sunday, because if I had to sit through the Xbox conference alone, that'd be a sad day indeed. Like, literally me by myself with 2 hours of Xbox, I can't even make fun of it because there's no one here to laugh with me. But no, E3s are coming.
Maybe they'll bring out another car this year.
Oh, I fucking hope so, dude. We should place bets
Ethan's
on what car.
Ethan's like, please. I can't let both my car games get pushed out of the year.
I honestly have this terrible feeling that they announced Forza, whatever it is, Forza 6 or whatever, and they're going to bring out a Horizon game before that, and I'm just going to cry, because I'm just going to be like, that's not my Forza game that I have fucking on my list. They're just going to pull out the other one instead and delay Forza 6 or whatever. I'm just going to be like, God fucking damn it. They probably won't, but we'll see. It'll be all fun. Be sure to tune in next week for our rather long predictions. And again, if you don't have time, that'll probably be a long episode, I have a feeling. I'll cut it up into small bite-sized chunks so you can go and show your fanboyism by only going to the Nintendo section on the highlights channel. It'll be great. Other than that, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm still buzzing off the caffeine, so I'm still ready to go. We're not cutting this short, baby. It's a fucking big boy this week. So, we're going to talk about what we've been playing. If you're only here for the news, you can fuck off now, but please don't. We like your attention. We want you to listen. Please don't leave.
Screw off, but please stay.
Yeah, if you only cared about the news, please leave a 5-star rating on your way out. We love you. Let's talk about what we've been playing. I'm going to start with Hunter, because Hunter did a disservice to this podcast last week by not playing a single thing. So,
how dare I? My first offense.
He's going to make up for his fucking crimes against humanity of last week and tell us what he's played this week.
It's only so bad because it's much more severe when I don't.
Yeah, it's because if Kyle and me don't play anything, it's fine, because we either play nothing or we play like the same shitty game we always play, whereas you actually bring variety. Yeah. You bring fucking substance. You bring content to this podcast. So we have to rely on you. So what have you played?
Alright, well, I finished up Hollow Knight last night.
Oh, hooray.
I got the standard ending. There's apparently like 4. Didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, Hollow Knight, the indie Metroidvania of,
You said the word. You said my fucking trigger word, dude. You said Metroidvania, and I'm already ready to fucking fall asleep, dude.
Indie?
No, I love indies. Please, I love indie games. I played Fall Guys, guys. Come on.
Fine.
Just looks owned by Epic Games.
2D platforming action game. Are you happy now, Ethan?
No, my trigger word is Metroidvania, because you know what I'm like with Metroidvania. My monkey brain kicks in, and I'm like, it's not telling me where to go. This game fucking sucks. I'm out. I'm confused.
You gotta remember what to do, Ethan.
Nah, dude.
You gotta remember... When you get a power-up, you can go back and explore things.
Fuck that, dude. Just let me go first.
You get the double jump, you can climb up big heights now.
Before Hunter gives his full impressions, I'll give you my impressions of Hollow Knight. I own Hollow Knight on Switch. I bought it. I played it for 40 minutes, got lost, had no fucking clue where I was, died, and was like, well, that's Hollow Knight, and closed it and went, salute. Fucking bye.
Amazing.
And I've never played Hollow Knight.
You'd probably like it.
Probably.
You probably would, to be honest. I bought it because people said it was like Dark Souls, and I was like, oh, I'll play it.
Well,
the Dark Souls
a lot of the
Metroidvanias.
reasons that Dark Soul people like
Dark Souls equals hard. It's just like, it's difficult, guys. I swear, it's difficult. You have to memorize like 3 fucking moves. It's hard, guys. I swear.
You have to remember where you've been.
Yeah, and
that is too difficult. You
leave behind a ghost too, so there's like a ghost that functions like getting the echoes back.
Yeah, I never found him. He's still down there.
Yeah. Oh, rippy dippy.
Rip, rest in pieces. Anyway.
But yeah, it was actually really amusing to come off of Bloodborne, and that because I started Hollow Knight after that, and then like Returnal and Resident Evil got in the way. It was just funny to go from like the Victorian goth vibe to more of the Tim Burton goth vibe with Hollow Knight, because that's very much what its like visual style reminded me of, like the whites set against like a bunch of purple and blue and stuff.
Yeah. So
it's a very atmospheric game, and I appreciated it for that. Gameplay-wise, it is very much just classic Metroidvania type of stuff, where it, you get your power-ups, it kicks in, after you get one, go and explore somewhere that you couldn't before, etc.
No!
Persona.
Persona. Oh, man.
That's what awakens it, is my hatred of Metroidvanias. But no.
That's the bad flashbacks that your evoker brings.
Exactly. I guess my main question is what makes Hollow Knight special? Because obviously it takes a lot of like a lot of indie games, obviously, it takes a lot of inspiration from other games. What is the thing what's the reason, do you think, why people love Hollow Knight? Because I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it looks cool. To me, Metroidvanias are like the most boring thing ever. But it's like, why do people like Hollow Knight? Is my question, I guess.
That's a little bit hard for me to parse because I really haven't paid attention.
Because I hate it.
To the no, I liked it. I liked it a lot, but it's hard for me to parse why, like, what it is that people latched onto a lot with it because I haven't really looked into why people like it. I just knew that people were like, "Oh, cool indie game," and then I was like, "All right, it looks neat," so I played it. But I don't know, like it's probably just a combination of it being like a really solid game in its genre, and its like visual style is striking enough to like stick with you. You know, and it's got one of the other reasons people who like Dark Souls would like this game is its story is very much the kind of just kind of like spread out. It's not going to tell you anything directly.
It's the YouTube fucking plot, right? Here's the thing.
Yeah, okay. There was enough information given to me for me to be like making working theories and stuff as I was playing the game. Being like, okay, so this probably happened, which probably led to this and this.
Yeah.
Which, when I ended the game, I don't think I was technically wrong with a lot of that. It was just I happened to not come across a whole lot of the other information. Because I went and looked up a bunch of it afterwards.
So it's not like Bloodborne. It's not like Bloodborne when you finish Bloodborne and you're like, that was something. Because my story of Bloodborne, Kyle, is you're a guy or a girl and you do a lot of walking and you kill some things and then you're a slug, and that's the plot of fucking Bloodborne. That to me is the plot of Bloodborne. Yeah, that's the plot of Bloodborne to me. And then you go to youtube.com, which is apparently the true ending to the video game, because then you go and find a fucking plot video, a plot synopsis on YouTube, and then apparently this was the secret bonus feature, because then they tell you all the plot you missed, and I'm like, truly, I didn't miss anything. It's just you walk and then you're a slug. And then they tell you the lore of everything. And they're like, yes, this boss
Ethan,
was related to this
that
boss.
information is in the game. It's just
but
it's
through like the atmosphere, or, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't look at this one particular fucking book that slightly glowed and it gives you this sentence. And you're like, well, fuck me, dude. I'm sorry for being so blind that I didn't notice this little fucking tiny glowing orb in the corner of one room. I'm so sorry. My apologies. I should say, the atmosphere in Bloodborne's great. The story is kind of cool as well when you read into it, but I don't get the love for it. Because I'm like, I'd much rather the game fucking just brain deadly told me, like, hey, here you go, dude. Here's some fucking lore. Or there was a synopsis in the game. If the text was just like, hey, here's a page for you to read in game and not hidden in a fucking corner, then I'd be like, cool, I can read this. You know, it's like the Xehanort, the Ansem reports. Yeah, the fucking Ansem reports, where I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, it's in there, but not just like in a random room. It's like, I'll always remember from Bloodborne, the whole umbilical cord thing is the way you're supposed to figure this out. Cal, basically, you have to ingest 3 umbilical cords to get the secret boss at the end of Bloodborne. And the way for you to find this, and the way for you to find this out is to go into a random room in the college area and go to the back of the room and hopefully notice a faint little glowing orb that will tell you, which will show you a read prompt, which will just say umbilical cords 3, and you piece it together, and that's literally like the whole thing. And it's like, yeah, got it.
I would think to do that.
And I'm like, of course, makes sense. It doesn't tell you anything else. It's just like umbilical cords 3. I'm like, got you. I did find that one, by the way. I did find it, so
good job,
thumbs
Ethan.
Up to me. Thank you. I did some exploring. Thank you. But anyway, we're not here to talk about
I like reading into things like that, especially because a lot of games, like, for example, I also like Danganronpa, but as Ethan's mentioned before, Danganronpa loves to reiterate everything they say 400.5 times.
Bad juju, dude. Bad juju. I'm kidding.
So it's
Danganronpa
nice
fans, please don't kill me. I do like Danganronpa. Somewhat. The first game's really good. The first one's good. I stand by. The more I think about the second one, the more I'm like, it's an experience, right? But it's not as good as the first one. You're fucking brain dead if you think it is. You can fight me on this one. Danganronpa 2 is like a fever dream. It is. It's Jump the Shark, the video game.
I think the full series is a fever dream, but 2 in particular.
100%, but 2 in particular is just like so fucking batshit crazy.
My favorite thing about the way that it was like the spacing of me getting into... I played Persona 4 in 2017, and that game was definitely weird and Japanesey and just fantastic.
I'm glad I played Persona first. I'm glad that was my introduction into JRPGs, because fuck me.
And then I got into Danganronpa, which is also weird, equally as weird and Japanesey.
Oh, it's
in
weirder.
Its own way.
It's weirder, dude. It's weirder. It's like, hi, I'm the fucking hentai author over here, dude. And I'm like, oh, hi, fat fuck. How are you doing? How's it going? And it's just like, Danganronpa's on its own other level. JRPGs are always fucking weird. It's funny, though. I laugh at it. It's one of those things where it's like, the Japanese probably laugh with the game. We laugh at it because it's fucking weird. But everyone wins in the end, unless it's a bit too weird. And then you're like, come on. But anyway, I digress. We're supposed to be talking about Hollow Knight. Back to Hollow Knight.
Right. So I think it's just a combination of how things came together with Hollow Knight that people appreciated. Yeah. Rather than... Because, yeah... It's very mechanically solid, does everything you'd expect a game like that to do, at least from the ones I've played. I haven't played a whole lot of Metroidvanias. Like, I've played the obvious ones, like Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid.
Hell yeah, those are the two I've played.
And then I've played the 2 Guacamelee games, and now this is like 5.
Actually, I've beaten Guacamelee. I have finished a Metroidvania. I'm writing that down.
Oh, you liked Guacamelee?
Is Guacamelee a...
Yeah, it is a Metroidvania. Oh, fuck my life.
What the fuck?
It is. Guacamelee is a Metroidvania. And here's the thing, Hunter.
I don't know anything about this game.
I liked the vibe of it, but it was a Plus game and I was bored and I rushed through it, and when I got stuck, I went straight to the IGN wiki and I was like, right, what the fuck am I doing? Dude, no brains. And it'd be like, go back.
No brains.
Yeah, and it'd be like, go back to Area 2 and use your fucking new fist power on this wall. And I'm like, this is bullshit, and nothing clicked in my head. I just must have not have gone, shit, this is a Metroidvania, and just fucking threw it away. I just didn't.
You just got hoodwinked. That's amazing.
Okay,
possibly
that's my go-to. That's my go-to. When people say don't judge until you try, I can now say I finished Guacamelee. Fuck you. Like, instead of going, I finished Batman Arkham Asylum, which I still stand by is not a fucking Metroidvania. People that say Arkham Asylum is a Metroidvania, I'm like, is it shit? It's just a fucking game that you go back, not because it's a Metroidvania, but just because the fucking story tells you go back. I digress.
Like, okay, yeah, hold on. I take issue with that too.
Yeah,
because people are like, oh, you know, it has closer level design to like Resident Evil games, the way it has like the central locations and all that.
According to the internet, going back equals Metroidvania. That's what it means. Is going back to another area equals Metroidvania.
I don't think there was ever a point in time in Arkham Asylum where it was like, oh, now you have the gel for the explosives, so now you can go back this way, that you obviously saw a big, like, oh, I can't go here yet thing. Although
no,
it's been
the game
years.
tells you, oh, this person's loose in this area, so you gotta go back to it. They don't go, oh, I wonder where you're going next. How are you gonna go?
Also, there's no way to possibly get lost in that game. It has the silly detective vision tell you where to go.
Hell yeah, dude, night vision, fucking big brain. That's why Batman Arkham Asylum is my favourite Metroidvania. I love it, guys. Game of the year. I do love Arkham Asylum, but it's not a Metroidvania. So, do you recommend Hollow Knight to all in all?
I do. It's a cool game. Look into it if you haven't already. I'm definitely more interested in Silksong now.
Will that come out in 2021? No. I'll answer that question
Probably
right
not.
now. Fuck no. They've already said it's not at E3, which makes me laugh.
Jack
At
sure
Jack.
would like it to come out this year.
Lol, Jack. I just sit here and I laugh, and everyone was like, my meme pick was God of War, which I knew was not coming out this year. It's not coming out next year. It's not coming out ever. God of War isn't real. It can't hurt me. But then it just makes me laugh that everybody else's like big picks are just like, nope, they're not happening too. Like you're getting your Ratchet, you might get your Horizon. But
well,
Breath
I mean,
of the Wild,
I didn't really expect Breath of the Wild to come out.
I genuinely did. At the start of this year, I was like, that's why I didn't counterpick you on, because I was like, I have a feeling it's coming out.
I picked Horizon.
The worst part is the next time. Next year, when I pick it again, you still won't want to do the Suicide Pact because it will be very likely that it's coming out.
It's coming out next year, but it just makes me laugh. Yeah, it just makes me. What it was like to be naive at the start of this year and thinking all these games were coming out. You know how naive we were, and then looking at it. So look at my list here. You know, fucking Gran Turismo and Shin Megami Tensei 5 and God of War Ragnarok. All these games that don't exist and will never come out because they don't.
That's me. Nocturne came out this week.
Yes, it did. And from what I've heard, everyone says, good game. Why fuck you charging $50 for this? Like that's what I've heard. Is
plus
Atlas
because Atlas
is the only company that can release a 100-hour RPG in Persona 4 Golden for $20. With no DLC, and then the following year release an older SMT game for full price and have additional DLC costs on top of that, and then be like, "Yeah, guys, buy it, please." Like, I'm like, how the fuck? Like, how do you fuck that up so badly? Like, shouldn't it? The reason Persona 4 sold so well on Steam was because it was the perfect price. $20 was the perfect price, and then they were like, SMT Nocturne, a game that is, in my opinion, more niche. Because it doesn't have a big audience like Golden did, right? It's you need to get people on this. You need people to go and want to try it out because they liked Persona 4 or whatever. And then they're like, but we'll double the price. And we'll make Dante an additional fee. And we'll also make all this other DLC an additional fee. Why the fuck not? We're Atlas.
Perfect.
God. Atlas, please, stop doing shitty DLC, I swear.
If I buy Dante DLC, will they mail me a sticker?
Yeah, exactly. Like genuinely.
I'd buy it twice so I could have an extra sticker to put on whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
For when it gets added to Smash Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just put it on the MC6 box when that comes out.
I'd love to just go. It'd be fun to take that and like slap it on a random game in like a GameStop shelf.
Think bigger, dude. Think bigger. Going to E3 itself and going up to like one of the big walls with like the fucking murals. Say fucking Sony's paid for God of War Ragnarok to be on a big wall or whatever at next E3, and you just stand there and you take your sticker and you just featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. What a ride that would be.
Back when God of War wasn't like a critical darling and it was just the Sony hack and slash game, people were always like, what would happen if Kratos fought Dante? Blah, blah, blah. Because it was God of War was a very similar game.
Why not, you know? But there you go. I don't know where we were going with this. SMT Nocturne.
I talked about what I was playing.
Kyle.
What you guys played?
Oh, that's a great question. Do you want to go, Kyle? Do you want to wrap up your Panzer Dragoon saga real quick?
Panzer Dragoon.
Wrong game.
Well, no. What game are you playing? Wasn't it
Legends of Dragoon?
Legends of Dragoon, not Panzer Dragoon. Legends.
I finished it.
Why the right? Hang on. Side note: Legend of Dragoon.
Oh my god! This episode's never ending.
It is no. Yeah, fucking keep watching, guys.
Not
Audience
until the
retention
caffeine leaves Ethan's blood.
I can do this all night. No,
I can do this all day.
I probably could. I don't want to, but I could.
But no, why the fuck are there multiple games with Dragoon in them? That's what I want to know. I thought they were the same thing, but that's just anyway.
It's cool.
Legend of Dragoon. Kyle hasn't played Panzer Dragoon. He's played Legend of Dragoon. He's finished it. What are your thoughts, Kyle? Final
finished
thoughts.
it. Fourth disc, not gonna lie, kind of disappointing. Very, very shallow dungeon design. Very repetitive dungeon design. I got cheap shotted by a lot of things and lost a lot of progress because of that. I had to replay a lot of parts because save points are not frequent, nor are healing points. This like,
is it like getting into the end of a Final Fantasy game and then getting ambushed by a Marlboro?
Actually, kind of. Yeah. There's one part at the end, like near the end of the final dungeon, where you have two of your party members, because that's what you're forced into. I got attacked by a Triceratops, and he stun-locked me to death.
Nice.
Like, I genuinely couldn't do anything. I couldn't run either, because every time I tried to run, it failed. So I was just like, okay, I guess this Triceratops is gonna kill me now. Can't wait to fight the last two bosses
More like
again.
A Diceratops, jeez.
I bet you were just sitting there and being like, oh, so this is what it's like to be a Xenoblade fucking enemy. Wow, they'd like literally just fucking locked in. Just fucking like, oh, well, this is the end.
This is my life
Triceratops found the combo that just fucking locks me in forever, dude.
Take me away.
But yeah. No. Overall, the game's pretty good. If you can find it for cheap, I'd recommend it. At least cheaper than what asking prices are online. Because
how much
late
is it?
PS1
PlayStation 3's
RPG
store is still open. It's probably on that.
Actually, it might be.
It might be if you're in America.
Pick up Xenogears while you're there.
Yeah, if you're in America. If you're in the you're in the UK, you have such offerings as maybe I think Persona 3's still on there. Maybe I don't know. They take them off. They're just like, yeah, fuck it. Europe doesn't want anything.
Legend of Dragoon released in Europe. It could be on the European store. Yeah,
the guy from Scott the Was is the fucking European manager of what gets on the fucking PS3 store. Gex, and that's it. Just Gex. Everything's Gex. He's like, oh, you should put Legend of Dragoon on there. It is on there. It's called Gex. There you go. Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, man.
But no, game was very good. I enjoyed my time with it, and I'll probably do a replay of it next year, maybe. I don't know.
Cool.
Did the ending bring you back at all from the lackluster, like, last disc, or was it just kind of like ended on a whimper?
So the final boss, like, it's a pair of bosses. I thought that the final boss was pretty good all around. The first boss was pretty straightforward, and then you have like an in-between before the actual final boss.
My webcam was miking on my end, and I was like... Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, the actual final boss is a 4-phase fight, a lot of health, but I first tried it, so... And like, the worst part about the game is your limited inventory. Mm-hmm. It really forces you to have to just think with what you're gonna need. You have 32 item slots, and if you...
It's oddly specific.
It is oddly specific.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I usually made it worked. Load up on healing items, magic restores, revives, and attacking magic attack items. It was enough to carry me through the final boss, so we call that a dub.
Nice.
Yeah, game's fun. Big recommend.
Cool. As for me,
sorry if I sound down on it, but like, this is the game I played. I'm not counting Horizon in this. This is the game I played after coming off of Xenosaga. Like, it's like when Ethan played a game after playing Persona.
It was
Persona
Nier
5.
Automata, yeah. Which I still like Nier Automata a lot. Like I said, Nier Automata is on that list. It's been on the list like Xenoblade 2 of games I need to get back to, and I will replay it. And I want to be clear, I did finish Nier Automata. I have the Platinum Trophy in Nier Automata. But
did you just buy it?
Of course I fucking did. What? The game gives you two options. What do you want to just save state and buy the trophies, reload save state, buy more trophies, reload save state, or do you want to grind shitty enemies for 20 hours? Let me think. Which would I rather? It's like if
I didn't look at the trophy list, so I don't remember.
It was like if it was like actually interesting stuff. Like, if all the trophies required was like do the side quests, I would have done it. But it was arbitrary RPG trophies that I fucking despise whenever people put these in, where it's like, do like it's like kill X amount of this enemy, or do like fucking get X amount of this item, and I'm like, no, do one. I'm just gonna buy it. Trophy shop's a great idea, by the way. I love that. You should do that with more games. Is like give people the option of.
You're like, boy, I wish Strikers had one of those. So I didn't
fuck
have to
me, exactly. So I don't have to do that shit for 8 hours. Anyway, as for games I have played this week, it's an hour and a half when we're talking about a new game, but who cares? I played Knockout City, which is the game that a load of people have been talking about. And I believe the reason that people have been talking about this game is because there's no other games to talk about. That's not right, and I'm not being mean to Knockout City, right? But I've seen a lot of people, particularly other gaming podcasts, I've seen a lot of people like Kind of Funny really have been into Knockout City. I've seen some other streamers been paid to play Knockout City or have been playing Knockout City here and there. Which, if you haven't heard of it, it is a game by published by EA, developed by someone else, not EA, because EA would not come up with this idea. And it's essentially a PvP game, but it's dodgeball. So you have different balls, you have like regular balls, and you have like different kinds of balls. And it's a 3v3 mostly situation. And the idea is literally play dodgeball. You have 2 fucking hits. If the team takes your 2 hits away and you die and you respawn, they get a point. It's first to 10 wins. Simple as that. And there's gameplay mechanics, like you can do drop shots and you can curve your balls. And there's this mechanic where if someone throws a ball and you catch it, you gain that, like, you catch the power, and when you throw it back at it, it'll go super quick. So there's like this kind of combo where you can fucking be throwing balls at each other and they'll catch it and they'll throw it back and you catch it and it'll start going super fucking fast.
Oh, it's like the Ganondorf fight in Zelda.
Yeah, like literally, you just like keep fucking like passing it back and back and back, and then fucking it's pretty cool. You can also, teammates can curl up into a ball and you can throw your teammates at people if there aren't balls available. You can just like turn into a ball and fucking throw them at it. And if you hit someone with the person because they're slower and heavier, it's an insta kill. If you hit someone with your friend, you just fucking insta kill them. It's pretty funny. There are other kind of balls, like there's a bomb ball where you throw it and it explodes. There's a jail ball where if you throw it, you cage someone up into a ball, and then you can pick that ball up and throw it off the map and watch them fucking die. Which is kind of cool. There's some other ones like multi-balls and stuff like that. But it's a very simple game, and it's cool. I played it for like half an hour. It's very initial impressions. I just thought I'd play it for the podcast because I like to keep up to date, especially if it has a free trial or something. I feel like one of us should play it for the podcast. It's interesting, but it has the same faults as Destruction All-Stars to me, which is looks cool, plays cool, doesn't sound as cool or look as cool as Destruction All-Stars. The heroes in Destruction All-Stars are very cool looking, and the music in sort of Destruction All-Stars, for what it is great. But here it's a bit it's fine. The designs of the characters are the most ugly fucking things I've ever seen in my life. It's like, imagine like kind of 80s cartoon aesthetic, like weird, like not even 80s actually. I'd say it's more like, imagine if they were to do like a cartoon in the 90s or 80s about kids in the 60s that kind of look greasy. And when I say greasy, I also do kind of mean the slick back greasy hair, but I more mean Grease as in the musical kind of movie kind of look. As in summer loving, fucking on your car, like sitting there with your leather jacket on kind of aesthetic. And to me, it just looks ugly. It's a really ugly aesthetic that I do not like, personally.
Yeah, the first look we got at this game, I recall, it was the Nintendo Direct from a while back. And that did not do the game a very good service, in my opinion. I was like, please move on. I don't like whatever this is. It focused a lot on those characters that were just irritating. Yeah.
It doesn't look good, really, in my opinion. It looks fine. It does the job, but I don't really like the art style. But the gameplay's fun. It has, like I say, the Destruction All-Stars problem to me, which is, I feel like once you've played it for like 5 or 6 hours, you've played it. To me, I don't see where the longevity is. And this is where a lot of games as a service use the excuse of seasonal content will fix the problem. And I'm like, seasonal content doesn't fix a gameplay issue. Because here's my thing, right? Yeah. Is Fall Guys, I still find fun. I still find playing the original maps fun. the way Fall Guys fatigues is, oh, I'm kind of just bored of Fall Guys. I'll come back later. It's not the gameplay that I'm sick of. It's just like, I've played too much, or I want some new challenges or whatever, or I'll wait till a new game mode comes out. That's when you're like, seasonal content works. With a game like Knockout City, where you can get bored of necessarily the gameplay and not like, oh, I just want a new map to come out. It's just, I'm sick of fucking dodgeball now. That's when you have your problem, because I'm like already at the point where I was like, after an hour of playing, I'm like, I could have like 4 hours more, and then I'm sick. Like, no new map or no new game mode is going to get me back into this. I'm just sick of dodgeball. So that's the thing.
Because there have been games that start off like smaller and then grow that have worked well, like Splatoon was great. Rocket League did the same kind of thing.
Fall Guys is doubled the stages now. Among Us is another game where I think that the gameplay loop works, where people get bored of playing a map, not necessarily playing Among Us.
Especially if you've got a group that you play with consistently, for sure.
And I'm sure that if you have a group of friends that are really into Knockout City, I'm sure you'll have a blast. And there's nothing wrong with the game fundamentally. It's just one of those... Everyone seems to be doing these games of a service. And in the past year in particular, a lot of people have been like, oh, Call of Duty, Apex, and Fortnite rule the shooter Battle Royale game as a service genre. No one else can break in. The only games that have been successful in that genre, really. I mean, PUBG also succeeded, but I feel like even PUBG's kind of died down nowadays, right? But your three big...
swept to the side.
Your big...
dedicated fans.
Yeah, your big three are Fortnite, Warzone, and Apex. Apex is the only one, in my opinion, that actually rivals the three of them in actually having an audience. And that's because, spoiler alert, it's the best fucking one of them because it's actually a good game, right? But so everyone was like, oh, we'll do something different. And then Fall Guys came out with a concept which I still don't believe that... I can't believe that no one else actually even attempted to make something like that. And it was an indie team that got away with that idea, because the whole idea of a game show platformer that's a battle royale was literally fucking steal. Like, that idea was gold dust. Doing Takeshi's Castle as a fucking video game, actual like giga brain move, and the fact that only an indie dev did it. When you see some AAA ideas come out and they're like Destruction All Stars and Knockout City, and you're like, you guys didn't think of maybe doing a fucking game show platformer first? No? Okay. Like,
Right.
It's kind of weird to me, but everyone's trying to branch out into different genres and doing different things. But I feel like they're all coming short, where they came up with an idea that makes for a fun idea of a game, but not longevity-wise. It's not like a Rocket League or a Fall Guys where I feel like I could come back to this in a couple of months, or just keep playing it over the course of like years and not get fresh. Like, to me, it feels like there's a fatigue value here. There's something that's going to be... There's going to be a time where you're like, I've played enough fucking dodgeball. I've had enough. No new map, no new gimmick, no new mode is going to fix this. Just let me stop playing. And it's kind of a shame the game's not free to play, to be honest, as well, because I feel like this game would really work as a free to play game. Like Destruction All Stars.
Asking price, like
cheaper than
$20.
it's $20, I believe, which is a fair enough asking price, but to me, I'm like, it should be a freemium game of like paid outfits or whatever. But at the same time, ugly game. So who would want the cosmetics?
We live in where something like Apex Legends is free, mostly because of the competition it has to deal with like Fortnite. But something like Apex Legends is free, but
Knockout
City, which is also under EA's umbrella, is $20 and probably not as good of a game.
But the same, Respawn's a very special studio. That's the thing, right? Is Warzone and Fortnite are... Here's the thing. When I'm playing... If I play Fortnite or if I play Warzone, I feel like I'm like... The game's like, oh, but you want to buy these $20 bundles. You want this fucking skin, don't you, bitch? You want this fucking gun. You know you want it. Whereas Apex is a game where I'm just like, I just want to play Apex, If I wanted to play Apex, I play Apex. Oh, what, this character? Yes, you have to unlock some of the characters, but you can do that in gameplay. There's a way for you to unlock all those characters. And if you're into Apex, I enjoy Apex when I get to play it once every 4 months because I'm bored and feel like playing it. But if you're into it and you're playing it every day, you can easily unlock those characters with gameplay. It's like CTR where you could very easily do it. To me, I'm like, ugh, if it requires like 8 hours of playing the game per character, maybe 10. Whereas if you're an actual Apex fan, you're like, I'm playing fucking 4 hours a night, so you're basically telling me in 2 weeks I could have all these characters unlocked, you know? Like, it's one of those things. I don't know. Good game. I can see why people like it, but it's 100% gonna be a game like Destruction All-Stars, like Outriders, where... Oh, what's that? What's that? 2 weeks. Yeah. It's the 2-week time bomb. Oops, and you're gone. Goodbye. Like no one's.
Ratchet and Clank will mark its demise.
Literally, as soon as another big game comes out, everyone will be like, "Oh, Monkey Brain, snap, snap. What's that shiny thing over there over the horizon? It's Ratchet and Clank. Let's talk about that and play that instead." And then by the time that they finish that 12-hour game, they'll be like, by the time they finish a 12-hour game, it'll take them 2 days. They'll already have forgotten about Knockout City's existence and not go back. It'll be as simple as that because that's what people do. Anyway, I rambled far too long about Knockout City. Let's move on. The other thing, I've just been playing more Xenoblade. That's it.
Woo!
25 hours in chapter 5, Kyle has told me, because I could not remember what the actual fucking chapter was, because I was like, nah, Indol, maybe. So yeah, chapter 5.
Yeah, I've played that game so many times, I could tell you all the chapters.
Yeah, still loving it.
There's only 10 of them, so...
Still loving it. I'm hoping that I maybe will finish it before... before Ratchet comes out, hopefully. And I've been slacking. Tomorrow I'm going to play more of it after I've edited this podcast. I'm hoping to hopefully finish it. And I'm still loving it. It's great. It's a great game. I've been doing more of the side stuff. My only complaint is the side content. Is if there's something that I hope Monolith Soft takes in for Xeno 3 or whatever's next for Xenoblade, it's... quality, not quantity. For fuck's sake, these side quests fucking suck. Because there are some great side quests. Like, there are side quests where there's a cutscene early in the game, right, where you're in Torgoth and it introduces the idea of having potential. You'll have to have potential to awaken blades in Xenoblade. And you have this little scrawny brother who decides to try and awaken... Most people die if they try and awaken a blade if they can't, by the way. And this brother's like, our father's left. I'm the only person here. I can make money by becoming a driver for Moradane and basically help my younger siblings survive if I do this. And you have this whole scene. And I just thought this was fluff in my first playthrough because I didn't... But then, if you actually go to Moradane later in the game, there's an actual side quest where you meet up with that guy again as a soldier and you go and and you work out a crime with him and it solves that little story. And it solves... I'm like, that's great. That's a great little side quest. It's a shame that this... great side quest is surrounded by a pile of wank of fucking, hi, me Nopon, me want these 10 fucking random things from a list so that I can go and set sail for somewhere. And then you give him the 10 things and he's like, thanks, bye. And then that's it. Quest complete. You wasted 30 minutes of your life. You're like, why? Why is this a thing? Why is this a quest? Why is every quest either good or shitty fetch quest? There is no in between in Xenoblade 2, and it's the same with Xenoblade 1. Don't act, because I remember the Xenoblade 1 side quest and the exact same fucking problem.
Dude, it was the most annoying thing when before Shulk was even using the Monado, I'm like, okay, these are the same. I'm not doing this because I don't feel like it. And I would still get, like, every time I would pick up an item from something and it'd be like, oh, future sight, blah, blah. This will be a thing you need for a side quest later. I'm like, stop showing me this. I don't care.
Yeah. It's worse than... Right, I'll give it... It's worse than Xenoblade 1. It is far worse than Xenoblade 1. Because Xenoblade 1 does have that whole foresight. If you might need this in a side quest later. Tee-hee. Look at these. All these fetch quests. Fetch quests off your arse. Before you've even exited the first fucking town, it's giving you 3 fetch quests that it wants you to do. And you're just sitting like fucking sitting there in fetch quest hell going, I want out, let me out, fuck me. Xenoblade 2 is better. I feel like there are less side quests. Like, I feel like that there are less, but still there are so many shit ones. There are some good ones. There are some good side quests where I'm like, oh, I'm glad I went out of my way to do that. Like, there's this one about this old driver and blade in Torgoth. I don't remember the name of it, but there's this whole story where you're going. It's essentially a fetch quest, but at least the story and the characters in it are interesting enough where I'm like, oh, I'm getting a bit of information about this world. The amount of shitty side quests, which is like, I want this crap. You give them the crap and they're like, thanks. And that's it. I'm like, this is fucking pointless. Especially because, as Kyle will know at this point, because if I've been doing a load of side quests, he'll know that this is a problem with Xenoblade 2. The potential of you being over leveled because of these side quests is fucking immense. I got Morag, and all of my characters. By the way, I'm in Indol. I'm in chapter 5, Kyle. I'm level 43 on all of my characters, which is high, right? All the enemies around me are like.
I think
35.
you're stronger than the boss of the chapter.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm over leveled. But here's the thing: when I go to sleep in an inn, it still says Morag can level up to 49, and I've not even done all of the side quests. It's a real problem with Xenoblade 2, which makes me fucking. I'm like, I will never 100% this game because there's so much fucking fluff.
There's so much in that game.
And I just wish.
I have a question about the things where it's like, oh, go get these components.
Yeah, Hunter in the back.
Oftentimes, it's because you have to kill something to get those, right?
Yeah.
Do they drop every time?
No.
No? Okay, so it's like the WoW thing where you could
100%.
potentially be fighting the same monster for an hour and only have 2 of these things that you need. I've been dealing with that quite a bit when I've been playing Warcraft with my brother, where he and I were just running around this area killing spiders for like 2.5 hours trying to get their stupid little spider legs or whatever they were asking for, and it took copious amount of time. It was not fun.
But you expect that in an MMO. Good. That's what you kind of go in for the grindiness of the MMO. I don't go to a JRPG for this shit. I don't. If I wanted to play RuneScape and chop trees, I'd fucking do that. I'm not going to. Especially in Xenoblade, where it's not like a fetch quest in, say, something like Breath of the Wild, where it's like, I want some wood, I need some apples, and you're like, okay, here's a fucking tree, chop
here's
that
where
shit
to go
down.
to get them.
Here's an apple, go and grab it. Fucking Xenoblade is like, hope you know where the specific fucking blue fucking dot on the ground is, where you're gonna go, look what I found, for the 65th millionth time.
What have we here?
Fucking Flora soothes an aching soul. Fucking for the 6 millionth time. Literally, like, fucking hear that again, dude. Like, fucking having war flashbacks every time Dromok's JPEG shows up on screen.
It's like anytime I talk to one of my friends that likes Kingdom Hearts, occasionally, like, offhand, they mention, oh, there might be some ingredients around here. And
oh my gosh, you're the worst.
I can feel his eye twitching from miles away.
But the thing about Xenoblade fetch quests that suck
Lucky emblem.
Yeah. Is the thing with Xenoblade is it is just search spots. You're not chopping down a tree. You're not doing it's search spots, it's killing enemies and praying to God, or it's the worst quests of all. Fucking play the RNG salvage game, because I fucking hate that. The salvage quests are the worst, because not only do they not tell you where the fuck to salvage, they'll give you a loose thing like, yeah, it's one of the 60 fucking spots on Torrigoth. Good luck, bitch. They'll be like, yeah, have fun with that. And then not only will they be like that, they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, also, you've got to go on all 60 of these, hope you guess the right one. And also that part has like a 1% spawn rate of all the things. And you're like, fuck me, kill me, I'm done.
Also, depending on the cylinder you use, you'll get a different prize pool.
Yeah, and you have to do a quick time event every time. It's not even like you can just quickly farm it, because you got to go, right, this looks like a good spot. Fucking do the 3 random button presses, and then he goes, here we go, and does a fucking yeet, and then you got to listen to him go, I love the smell of salvage for the 60th time, and then the fucking chest plumps on the ground, the fucking items take 6
game like thrice.
Yeah, the fucking items take 6 million times to spawn, because the render fucking engine in Xenoblade 2 is pee poo poo, and then a fucking crab shows up that's level 1, you're level 40, but you still have to fucking fight it, because it has auto aggro for some reason.
Yeah, I remember that.
So now my whole thing of side quests is whenever I see a side quest, I do pick them up. But if it's just a fucking Nopon going, I want shit, I'm like, fuck off, get it yourself. I'm out. Yeah. Did you have a question, Kyle? Did you have a question?
I was gonna say just one final thing on side quests. Mm-hmm. Xenoblade 2 is definitely a step in the right direction, because there's also your Blade side quests, which give you more insight to your party members, basically.
Yeah.
And that shit's super cool. If anything, like, those are the side quests that stick out to me. Those are the ones I remember.
Yeah, except I have one for a character that's got a massive fuck off polar bear that's like, oh, can you do like
bearing her soul?
Yeah, can you do like 70? Can you do like 70 merc missions and just repeat the same fucking one like 7 times each?
You think it's 70?
Yeah, it's like, can you just waste your time? I'm like, no, I don't care about this girl or the bear anymore. I've done this.
We are Ursula's new groove, and we'll do what we
can. Yeah, fuck that off. No, not doing it. But no, it's a step in the right direction.
Back when the game first released, you couldn't skip that dialogue in merc missions. No. So every time you wanted to send her out on a merc mission, you had to sit through, we are Ursula's new groove, and we'll do what we can. It's just become a meme in the community.
So.
Kill me.
I'm so glad Xenoblade 2 got quality of life patches. Same. I'm so glad they got quality of life patches. Because when the game first came out too, you couldn't skip Blade Awakenings.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'd kill myself.
I'm glad I played that game like a year and a half late.
Yeah, because the amount of times that I was just like, skip. I literally watched one Awakening and I was like, yeah, this takes too long. Skip Awakening. Oh, Cosmos. So that doesn't seem that rare. Let me just pull another one. Yeah, you Hunter, you weren't here because you were getting stuff ready. But I accidentally pulled the rarest blade in the game, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I think that's cool. I think that's a good one." And then I looked at the odds, and it was like,
good.
"Yeah," and it was like, "Oh, that's the rarest one in the pool." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Guess I'll use it. Maybe. Who knows?" But no side quests.
So now you've got no reason to do the other ones. You won the gacha.
Exactly. I pulled the UR. You don't need any of the others. But. The side quests are in the same step in the right direction, but I just hope in Xenoblade 3 we just have the Blade quests, or we just have like the fucking substantial ones. Because, like I say, there's no reason to do all of them because half of them are grindy as shit and boring. Some have got substance, and if you do torment yourself and go, "I'm going to do all of them," you end up massively overleveled. I still think it's a good system having the option of being able to use your side quest XP. Like, it gives you the option to, in the rest houses, to turn it on or off, right? You can level up or you can't. But I can tell you for a fucking fact, unless you're like a hardcore player and you're like doing it on purpose, every fucking casual that plays that video game will just go, "Oh, me make number biggest possible," and then oopsie, now the whole game's imbalanced because I'm now fucking 10 levels above where I should be. So it's like, to me, I just wish they got rid of it. Other than that, I'm trying to use Mithra more because I hardly used Mithra in my original playthrough because I was just like, I'm already attached to Pyra at this point. Fucking all my homies hate fucking Mithra or whatever bollocks I was trying to pull.
Mithra's just superior, dude.
She's not.
I believe in Mithra supremacy.
She's alright. I like her more so far in the second playthrough, but at the same time, I'm just like, fuck. Every time she fucking talks, I'm just sitting there just giggling to myself, going, "Fucking Tsundere, dude, just get out, dude, get out, fucking grow a pair, dude." Like, literally every time she's like, "I don't like you," like, fucking smug face. I'm like, get in the bin,
Baka.
Literally, she's like, literally just like, Tsundere, the fucking embodiment of that. I'm just like, I like her. She's interesting. I'm trying to use her more so I have less of a bias, but it's like, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where, like you said, Hunter, earlier about like Persona or whatever. It's like, it's one of those weird Japanese things where I'm like, the game's like, they're two different characters, but they share the same body, but they're different, we swear. And I'm just sitting there going, this just like, doesn't add up in my monkey brain.
They just kind of, and their one difference is which version of anime girlfriend.
Yeah, what do you like? It's literally, it's like fucking, do you like MILF or do you like tsundere? Which fucking stereotype do you like? You pick one because that's basically what you're choosing right here, because that's the personalities. There is no in between. But it's just one of those things where to me it's just like, oh, it's really hard for me to be like, oh, it's just two different characters. I'm just like, oh, it's just personalities here. It's just fucking switching on or off. And I'm like, why the fuck are you so snappy? Get off my back. Get off
It
my
would
back.
certainly help if they were like drastically different and not just the one thing there.
Yeah, and
their color scheme.
Yeah, and it just feels like unless you really like tsunderes, you're just gonna have that constant feeling of, who are you? Like, I know Pyra. Pyra's the person that I've known this whole time, and you've just shown up, and I'm like, what is this? I do like Mithra, though. She's an interesting character. I really like her Smash outfit that they added in as DLC. It makes me like her a lot more because I just like that outfit. I think it's a better outfit. I wish they added the Pyra outfit from Smash Ultimate into Xenoblade 2 as well, because I'm just like, hey, why not? They're better outfits, in my opinion. I just really like their designs. Mainly because it's just like, I feel less fucking awkward. Like, I just feel less awkward being like, oh, cool, Mithra's wearing some clothes, that's nice. It feels like...
I can play this game in front of my parents now, yeah!
Yeah, and I wish I could say the same about Pyra, but it's like, nope, you can't. But no, I'm enjoying it.
One of the only games that I've played where my sister's like seen me play and be like, but why does she look like that?
Yeah. And it's just all like, I swear
she's been witnessed to be like playing Metal Gear Solid 3, where Eva constantly wears a biker jacket that's unzipped with no shirt underneath. So like, it's peculiar that even Xenoblade eclipsed that.
Honestly, I am just sitting there all the time, just like whenever someone, like, I have my friend Eamon who's listens to the podcast. He's always like, I don't think I could ever play Xenoblade 2 or Xenoblade for the, and his two reasons are, one, the voice acting in 2, which I always say is, it's like fucking, you love it because it's bad at times, but once you're in, you're in. It's like one of those things where it's like, Rex's voice actor can be the worst thing on the planet, and sometimes he is the worst thing on the fucking planet. But it just works.
He has to scream.
Yeah, it just works at times, and he does have some good moments in there. He does have some good moments. But the second,
it's all in the back half of the game. But yeah,
I don't know. There are some points, like there's the point in chapter. I think it is in the chapter that I am in at the moment, where you go to Fonset and there's that moment, and I'm like, there are moments where I'm like, oh, here's some like actual character, like here's some actual moment, which is kind of like, yeah. It's a bit weird taking your, like, going to a certain place. Like, I'm trying not to spoil it for people that haven't played it, but it's a bit weird going to a certain place and going, here's my waifu. It basically shows
my walking body pillow.
Yeah, dude. That's one thing about Xenoblade Xenoblade 2 that will always just make me laugh, where it's just like, oh, I see you I resonated with my core crystal and now here's my wife, dude. Like, this is how this world works. It's just like, it's just kind of weird. It's just like, oh yeah, we're connected for life now, so I guess I'm horny for you. I guess that's how that works, dude. Like, that's just it.
If I die, you die too.
Yeah. It just always makes me laugh, because it's like, I just feel bad for the Blades in a way, because it's like, yeah, they may like actually like fall in love with the driver, but they're just like, oh look, you're really old now. Like, you can literally just watch, you're watching your lifespan just fade away, because you're just like, oh fuck, he's really old. Anyway, I digress. Xenoblade 2, very good.
Very good game.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. The character models sometimes put him off, and I'm like, I can see it. But I'm also just sitting there being like, I swear Pyra / Mithra have a good fucking personality and a good story. I swear. They're actually kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Interesting.
Not interesting. Instead of like being, like, what? Oh, I don't know what word I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of like...
Describe it.
Not horny. Oh god, this is
the caffeine's gotten to him.
The caffeine's ran out. That's the problem. It's like we've hit the lull. We're 2 hours. We're at 2 hours. It's like done.
He's out of thinky juice.
I'm out of thinky juice, dude.
Is endearing the word you're looking for?
Yeah, kind of
compelling.
No, they're kind of. I'm trying to like. Like, literally the only thing I can think of is they're not horny. Like, they're kind of just like God, I can't. We're just gonna roll with it, and maybe the fucking word will come back to me. Anyway, that's gonna bug me. It's one of those things where it's stuck in my head now. It's gonna bug me.
I can usually help people come up with words they're looking for, but I don't have anything to go off of here.
I don't know what the opposite of horny is.
Yeah, but
so...
it's not the opposite of horny though. That's the thing. The word that I'm after isn't the opposite of horny, but it's like if I'm trying to say that a character is
sexualized.
Nice. No, yeah, like but they're
wholesome.
Thank you. Oh, fucking hell, dude. Oh, don't do that to me mid-podcast. That's inappropriate. That was fucking... That was so satisfying, dude. Oddly satisfying, dude. When someone finally... Oh, yes, wholesome was the word. Oh, we got it. Oh, God, that did... Oh, thank God. That would have killed me if that had gone on any longer.
Well, that was a shot in the dark, but yeah.
Wholesome was the word. They're quite wholesome as characters. Thank you. We got it. Well done, team. Well done. But no, well, yeah, 2 hours, jeez. I guess we'll do the outro with that. That has been our show, everybody. Thank you so much for listening this week. We've had fun. That's a good episode. I've had fun. We've had stuff to talk about. It's like, yes, let's go. Nice. Could do with this every week. It'd be great. But no,
2 hours every week?
No, not 2 hours. Just having stuff to talk about.
He just means like a thing to talk about. I think most of the... I was expecting half an hour more, but I guess the caffeine really got Ethan going.
I mean, if like I'm willing. I don't have a limit on these episodes. If we have stuff to talk about, and we're having a good time. Like I can do these for ages. Yeah, it's just like I remember when we started, we used to struggle getting to an hour, and now it's like the average kind of lands around an hour 20, 90 minutes is where we kind of land now. And 2 hours, I'm just like, yeah, 2 hours. It's kind of reminding me of how we got 3 hours into Persona 5 Royal. I'm like, how did we ever get it?
Good Lord.
But now that I'm sitting here, I'm like, if I had to, I could chat shit for another hour. I can see how we got there.
Yeah.
But no, that's been our show this week. Thank you ever so much, especially if you made it this far for listening this week. Hope you've had fun. Let us know what your thoughts and feelings about everything that we talked about today in the comments, or at us on Twitter. Our links, as always, are on screen now. You can find us on Twitter and YouTube, etc., and all those places. And if you would be so kind, you can always go and follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to both of our YouTube channels. We'd really appreciate it. And then, if you're an audio listener, you can head into the description or go to the link tree where you can find us on all your favourite podcast services, such as Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. But with that, that's been our show. We'll be back next week for the first annual E3 predictions, because we didn't get to do it last year. But yeah, we'll be here to talk about E3 next week. It's time for content for at least a month. But hey, let's get to it.
The filler arc is over, everyone.
For now. There's nothing in July. Don't get your finished.
Yeah. Nothing yet in July.
Yet. Fingers crossed.
Chris Tales comes out in July.
Oh, does it? I feel like we've been waiting on that game for ages. But anyway.
It was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, I thought it did. Anyway, that's been our show. Thank you so much for listening / watching this week. We'll be back, same time, same place, next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.